Welcome to Hive Live Extra, our chance to reflect on the game we've seen today in the Sky Bet EFL Championship as Watford took on Reading. Sadly, a disappointing result for the Golden Boys as they succumbed to a 1-0 defeat. We're going to be reflecting on the game and have all the post-match reaction and analysis for you in the company of my studio guests, Gifton Noel-Williams and also Tommy Mooney. So great to have you chaps with us. Gifton, what did you make of that performance today from the Golden Boys?
I kind of see it as it was potentially, and I said it earlier, it was about a pot bubbling. The pot was bubbling, and I thought, all right, we're going to get something out today. It's going to come. We're going to reach that point where we hit a bit of fire and a bit of excitement, and it happens, and it just fizzled out. You know, it's almost like someone just turned the pot off or turned it down. It just kind of simmered out. Overall, when you look at the way we defended, the work rate of the team, I think it was good. When you look at the positives out of the game. But just going forward in the final third, there didn't seem to be a style of play, a pattern of play, or our exciting players didn't really get into the game enough to really have an impact, to really impose themselves on the game. So overall disappointed, but I believe that when you're talking about a long season, and it's a marathon, not a sprint, as they say. So when you're looking at it on that perspective, and you look at the 4 games as a whole, then it's been productive. 2 wins, a draw and a loss is not the worst thing. I'm sure if you ask the players before the season started, if you take first 4 games, 2 wins, a draw and a loss, I think most people would have taken that. So overall, it's not the worst thing in the world.
Absolutely. And Tommy, we seem to start the game very positively. The opening 20-25 minutes. What would you say has been the turning point? Can you put your finger on anything?
No, perhaps a little bit of disappointment from Garner's free kick not going in, because he did strike it ever so well. But in the first 3 minutes, we had 3 balls across the 6-yard box. I think from there on, it became a little bit stale, and we looked susceptible to the break. You know, Reading had probably the first shot on in the game, and then in the second half it turned a little bit sour. It looked like we ran out of ideas going forward, and then again they were catching us on the break. Set pieces, they were stronger and better than us, but it was just one of those games where you thought we could still be playing now, we probably wouldn't score.
Absolutely. Well, let's look back at the highlights from a disappointing afternoon for the Hornets at the Medeski Stadium.
Yunus Kabul, January 17 at the Emirates. Alman Abdi, May 16 at Vicarage Road. Here comes Garner. Off the bar! That's as close as Watford have come for a long time. And Chalobah, his follow-up. But James Garner so close to breaking that free kick record. Off the crossbar with the goalkeeper nowhere. But it remains goalless. It's Holmes for Reading, 35 yards out into the feet of Puskas inside the penalty. He turns and he scores! Watford concede for the first time this season, and it's George Puskas with his first goal of the campaign for the Royals, deputising for the injured Lucas Shaw this afternoon. Well, Foster made the save from the free kick, but Watford never fully cleared their lines, and Holmes found Puskas, and his shot deflects off Craig Cathcart to wrong foot Ben Foster from around the penalty spot. And 4 minutes before half time, the Hornets are behind. It's Reading 1, Watford 0. Watford have it back via Chalobah and Cathcart, and Chalobah does well to hold off Elise and his Sarr inside the penalty area, down by the goal line on the right hand side, works it back to João Pedro. His low ball in, might come to Garner. His shot is deflected, but that takes the power off it, and it's a comfortable save for the goalkeeper.
It does suit the left footer a little bit more, but it wouldn't surprise me if Garner wants it.
Kabasele has gone forward. Feminier in space on the left-hand edge of the penalty area. Sema and Garner wait. It is James Garner who does go round the wall, and it's just too high. Goalkeeper looked comfortable, so had his angles right. But you were right, Tommy. He did fancy it.
So there you go, that was the action at the Medeski Stadium. Watford sadly defeated 1-0 by Reading, who now make it 4 out of 4 in this Sky Bet EFL Championship season. I've still got Gifton and Tommy with me in the studio, and Tommy, if we're taking some positives from that, those James Garner free kick efforts, really good ones, and very close to getting in the net.
Yeah, he's exceptionally good set pieces. I've seen him play a lot of times for Man United, and you know, certainly in the under 23s I've seen him score goals from set pieces. So the fact that he's on corners in his debut and he's on set pieces after he's developed a place in the team for himself suggests that the management and staff would reiterate that. So yeah, he's a confident lad, and really unlucky with the one free kick that hit the post, but yeah, he probably had 2 or 3 chances this afternoon or got shots away, and that is perhaps more of an indication that the front line of the pitch was inadequate today.
Yeah, I mean, Gifton, it didn't quite work as well with Sarr and Pedro today, did it? Like it was last weekend against Luton here at Vicarage Road.
Yeah, it was a bit of a different game as well. So it's a bit different. The way that Luton plays, a bit different to the way Reading played, which in turn made the 2 lads play. I don't think there was a lot of space for the boys to run into the wide areas and get the ball one-on-one and dribble at defenders like they like to do. You see Sarr, he's at his best when he drifts wide in those wide areas where he can get the ball in the front foot and go at the full-backs or the centre-halves in those little channels in the wide areas. Today, those channels weren't available today. And when they really mainly got the ball was down the middle, when it was shoved down to them down the throat, and neither one of them are that type of player. So I think it's just about going back to the drawing board, really. As we've got new players coming in, I think if one of those played with a striker, with a main number 9, I think it could benefit them, because then they could let that main striker do the hard work, be the battering ram, win the headers, fight the defenders for the ball, and then that can release them to go and do what they do best, and that's taking players on and being exciting. So
yeah, and I guess that could be Andre Gray, couldn't it, Tommy? That could be Troy Deeney. They're the kind of players that would fit that role. Yeah,
they could be, and we've got 10 days now, nearly 2 weeks till our next game, and the transfer window is open. I think it's a key part of that is who we retain and who we acquire during that period. But Sarr and João Pedro are very, very young players. You're not going to get the consistency of a senior pro in a young player. So if you get 2 good games a month out of those young 18, 19, 20-year-old players that are in the team, then you've done well. You can't expect young players to give you what senior pros should give you on a regular basis.
Yeah, it's difficult for us as fans. We almost get overexcited at a game like we had here last weekend, expecting that week on week, but that's not always going to be the case, like you said, with players with not so much experience.
Yeah, and that'll be what's expected from the likes of your senior pros, Ben Cathcart, Tom Cleverley, Troy at the top end, so they'll know what, because they've been through it.
Yeah. We've been these. Well, I played with you when you were 17 years old.
He used to frustrate me all of the time, but then the next week he'd win the game for me. So it's normal for a young player to have off days. It's not, doesn't mean they're a bad player. They're not. They're top players, or could be top players. But it was one of those days today for them.
Tom, do you think that the message that is given, you mentioned me, and that's why I'm talking about this, because I know myself, I was saying earlier that the gaffer Graham Taylor would take me out sometimes, and he'll say, I want you to sit on the bench and watch the game for a couple of games, see what's going on. But also the message I got from you guys and from all the senior pros was keep on working hard. You're not there yet, keep on working. So don't you think that the message that Troy gives these youngsters, that all the senior pros give these youngsters, to make sure that even a 48 game season or 50 game season, knowing they're not going to be superb for 50, 40 games, but the message that they get from the senior pros to say, come on, get through it, keep working hard, keep digging deep. I think that message is vital for these.
I think the key to it, as you said it at the beginning, is keep working hard.
Yeah.
If young players are working hard and trying to adapt and bring on their game, then the senior pros will go, do you know what, I'll take it. Yeah. I'll work a little bit harder. You might lose the ball every now and again, but I'll keep giving you it.
And the key to that is working hard. The gaffer wouldn't have let you, whether he was playing you or not, he wanted you to train at 100%.
100%.
And I think that's what these young players need to realise, that the Championship is different to the Premier League, and you've got to work even harder in training, because you can't just turn it on and off when you're a young pro.
Absolutely. Well, let's go back to the Medeski Stadium and get more post-match reaction. We can get the thoughts of James Garner.
James, was that a tough one to take?
Yeah, I think in the first half we played very well, Obviously myself, I hit the crossbar, and I think we created quite a few opportunities, and to concede a scrappy goal like that, and it's very tough to take. Yeah.
The loss of Tom Dele-Bashiru, a blow, because he started really well.
Yeah, I think he's a top player, and you've seen in the first 20 minutes or however long he was, he's really effective, and it was a big blow when he went off. Yeah.
Talk to me about the free kick. Did you think it was in?
Yeah, I think if you watch it again, I think I've kind of gone off.
You wheeled away.
Yeah, thinking that it has gone in, but on another day that's gone on the underside of the crossbar and it's gone in, but
You couldn't have done it much more. You hit it sweetly.
Yeah, I think I hit it too sweet, to be fair. But like I said, I think we were just unlucky today.
Fair to say their goal came against the run of play?
Yeah, I think in the first half, I think we were the better side. Like I said, we created loads of chances. We were unlucky not to score, and then for them to score in the manner that they did, it was a bit of a scrappy goal. I think it's fair to say that it was against the run of play. Yeah.
Huffed and puffed in the second half, but just didn't happen for the team.
Yeah, I think we fight to the end. No one give up. I think today was just unlucky for us. Like I said, we went to the end, and I know we just couldn't get the goal that we needed.
There you go, the thoughts of James Garner post-match at the Medeski Stadium. And Gifton, he played really well, didn't he, particularly in that first half?
Yeah, I thought he had a lot of energy. As a young lad, he got around the pitch, he was good on the ball. I thought the first 20 minutes when there was him and there was also Tom Deli in front of him, I thought that them two played quite well. I thought they were kind of strike up a little bit of a partnership. I think Tom being injured and coming off, it kind of affected the midfield a little bit, and Garner was almost ahead of Chalobah but in there by himself, because Sema was kind of positional wise was a bit all over the place. So I think that kind of affected Garner as a youngster, not really knowing where he should do, what he should do, so he didn't have that much of an impact as much as the first 20 minutes. But if that's to show what he can do in the first 20 minutes with him and Tom Deli in the midfield, I think that is for the future. If that's not a long-term injury for the young lad, I think that's a good partnership going forward.
Yeah, well, look, fingers crossed he gets over that one very soon. It isn't as serious as potentially we initially thought from the replays. Tommy, like we said before, we don't want to get ahead of ourselves. Young player, but given his background and the impact he's had in his first few games for Watford, it's a really promising signing for the season ahead. Yeah,
I think he shows a confidence and a maturity for such a young lad, and obviously his background at Manchester United, their academy system there develops young men, not just young footballers. So they're very proud of that heritage that they have, and you can see he's one of their graduates.
And Gifton, we head off now on the international break, so no league games for a couple of weeks. What do you think the manager will be wanting to work on in that time?
I think it's partnerships in the final third. That's what would be for me. So have a style of play, work on the style of play as a team, partnerships within the starting 11, and the final third. I think the final third is a place where it's the hardest part to get together, and that's what people don't really realise. To learn how to defend as a unit is easier. When you talk about the final bit, you've only got a split second of someone making a run, seeing the pass. The understanding, I've got to know what Moons does before he touches the ball, almost. And when I get that relationship with him and I understand what he's going to do before he even knows himself, that's when I go and score loads of goals. So I think in the training ground right now, it's a new team, a lot of new players coming together to the squad. It's just about them getting to know each other. Hearing Chalobah say in the interview that the players it's a good unit, the environment's really good, that is really positive. That means that they can get down to work at the training ground in a good environment where everyone wants to learn. Yeah, absolutely. And Tommy, look, the supporters that will have been joining us around the world today, watching this on Hive Live Extra, look, we will get disappointed with any defeat, but there's lots still to be positive about, isn't there? And it's a long season ahead, still a good start with the wins and the draw that we've had already.
No, an awful lot to be look forward to. We're in a transitional period. We've been relegated, there's a new head coach, and there's a changeover of the team and the squad. So during that transitional period, I think we've done well to pick up the 7 points. We've won a cup game. We ironically, the manager has just had his first week where he's had all of the players on the training ground that he wants, and then he picks up injuries. So he hasn't even had his 11 for a full week yet because of internationals, pre-season, and the thing that everybody else is dealing with COVID. So yeah, I think there's an awful lot of positives, and certainly I'm looking forward to it continuing and the squad progressing. Their relationships are massive, and you've got to have time on the training field to build those relationships.
Absolutely. Well, as we say, we have a couple of weeks break for the internationals, and then Hive Live will return for the away fixture against Derby County in the Sky Bet EFL Championship. That is taking place on Friday the 16th of October. We will go live at 7 p.m. with a 7:45 p.m. kickoff. Make sure you go online to get your match pass. It's watfordfc.com/Hive Live. But Gifton, Tommy, thank you very much for joining us. Tommy, I think you'll be with us back on co-coms with John Marks again. Gifton, we will definitely see you here. You've been absolutely a terrific guest. So take care and all the best for the recovery with your arm as well.
Thumbs up, as
there
they
you
say.
go, the Gifton thumbs up. Lovely.
Thumbs up.
Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time.
wait, why are you going fast? There's more videos here.